On behalf of the Palatka Daily News and St. John's River State College, I'd like to welcome all of you to our first 2022 Political Forum of the Year. Before we get started, I'd like to extend a massive thank you to the college for helping us put this event on. To College President Joe Pickens and Susan Sutliff, thank you for the help and guidance in planning this event. To IT Director Adam Brazil, has gone above and beyond in creating a live stream for the folks watching at home. Thank you, Adam. And Attorney Ron Brown, who has much more experience in debate and public speaking than I do, has agreed to be our moderator for the evening. I'd also like to thank Reverend Carl Flagg, who has been kind enough last minute to agree to provide the invitation this evening. For clarity, this is the first political forum I have ever helped to organize. Yeah, no pressure. Okay. In my excitement and haste to be fair, I sent invitations to all the candidates for the District 4 race. And each of the candidates in that race have been offered an opportunity tonight, later on after the Black and mayoral race questions, to introduce themselves to voters. But for clarity, only the Republican candidates who will appear on the primary ballots will be questioned this evening. We intend to host another forum, board forum series, in the lead up to the general election this fall so that the remaining candidates can be questioned together. Some of the questions created for this forum were inspired by inquiries submitted by our readers. And they are all designed to give our audience a glimpse into how each candidate thinks. All of the questions were written by me yesterday, as a matter of fact. And other than a quick review by the moderator a few moments ago, no one has seen these questions in advance. My hope is that these forums provide our voters with food for thought. And with that, I'd like to hand it over to Mrs. Wood.
Thank you, Kendra. As she indicated, we're going to have a fairly straightforward format. Talk with the candidates prior to beginning our program tonight. But I want to remind everyone who's listening or streaming how we're going to operate. The forum is basically going to consist of a question and answer period. We hope it will last no more than an hour. We plan to be done between 6:50 and 6:55 so we can transition to the next program, which will start promptly at 7 with the County Commission. Each candidate will have an opportunity to make an introductory statement. That statement should last 5 minutes approximately. After that, I will pose questions. There are 5 questions at least. There may be more depending on time. We ask that each candidate spend about 3 minutes in response to that question. And we'll alternate which candidate goes first in response to the questions. And then at the conclusion of the question and answer period, we're going to have a final statement and summary. And just so you know, we're going to do it alphabetically. Ms. Correa, you get to go first on the introduction, but Mr. Daniel, you're going to get to go first on the summary. All right? And we'll handle it that way. So it'll be fairly straightforward, and I think it should be an uncomplicated event. Just, we have a nice audience here, and hopefully we have a nice streaming audience that will appreciate the opportunity to hear what you have to say. We would like to begin, however, with 2 ceremonial opportunities. Pledge of Allegiance, and at this time we would like all of you to please stand and join with me in our pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, Reverend Carl Flagg, who is the pastor of the Mount Tabor
our hearts to God. Almighty and everlasting God, bow our heads and humble our hearts at such a time as this. We call upon you, for your grace is sufficient, your mercy is everlasting. Thank you for the Palatka Daily News and the St. John's River State College for coordinating and facilitating the candidates as well as the citizens who are here, as well as those who are virtual, so that all of us can hear precisely platform and the positions, candidates, even the incumbents. God, reunite our hearts Help us to truly be one nation under. Help us as a community to stand together, to pray together, to work together, and to do your. Let this forum be filled with pride and joy. Help each of us to be mindful of each other's opinions. Help all of us to practice civility and serenity so that we can be a better community. Dear God, some will win in the end, some will lose, but we all win when we stand together as a community. Bless this evening, bless those who are participating, and bless those who are hearing and heeding the voices and the answers that will be provided tonight. Lord, whatever your will is, reveal it to us. Let it be done. Help us to do it together. It's in Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Flack. All right. It's time to begin. As we promised, we're going to let each candidate make a 5-minute introductory speech. Ms. Harrison, or one of you will have a 1-minute warning notice to give you some idea about how much time you have left. So we're going to start off with the candidates for Palatka Mayor, beginning with Lana Korea.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks to the Palatka Daily News and the St. John's River State College for hosting this event this evening and giving us this opportunity to talk a little bit about ourselves and ask some questions. And thank you, everybody else, for being here. Just if you don't know, my name is Robbie Correa. I am a resident of Palatka for the past 15 years. I'm a proud mother of 2 sons and 1 grandson. I am a former special ed teacher, retired public administrator. I realized I didn't have this close enough. With the State of Connecticut Department of General Services, and a grant writer. I also am currently licensed as a real estate associate here in Palatka primarily, and also am the owner of a small business, Lemon Street Market and Mercantile in beautiful downtown Palatka. I am also a Northeast Florida Regional Council graduate of the Academy in 2019, and I did the research and application for listing of the Hotel James on the National Register in 2019 also. So I have a pretty rounded background in both the private and public sector. I am losing my place. Okay, I chose to move to Palatka 15 years ago, as I said, and make it my home. Since that time, I have volunteered with a number of organizations. I'm the president of Revitalize Historic Palatka, which was formerly Palatka Main Street. I am the Palatka Trail Town Chair, which is our Trail Towns Committee. I'm also the chair of the Palatka Historic Preservation Board, the City Board. I'm on the County Site and Mural Committee, and if you look at my card, several other groups as well. I don't know what else I can say about myself, except that I have immersed myself in Palatka. I think of it as my home, and I'm excited to be here and be part of this event. Thank you.
Ms. Korea. And next, Junior Daniel. Mr. Daniel.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Junior Roger Daniel. Want to say to you all, this is my first event ever in a place like this at this time. But I want to say thank you to Palatka Daily News and St. John's College for all this, putting this together. And I just want to say, give you a couple things, say a few things about myself, how I got here. First of all, I'm a general contractor. Been in the business now right at 30 years, more. And I'm all over Palatka. I have a lot of clients all around Palatka. And I'm in and out of a lot of homes, and I deal with a lot of homeowners. Not only we communicate, but we come to be friends. And what I've been hearing over the last 3 years is I hear my clients are shouting and crying out about the lack of the city of Palatka, the short of what I'm trying to say is, our infrastructure, our safety and growth here in Palatka, it's just been so, it's just like, what I'm trying to say is, Palatka have a standard to meet. And Palatka just, right now, it just, we here, but we're not here. I guess I said that right, but, but anyway, let me get this right, because this is my first time, and I'm trying to be, I'm just like you all. I'm just a human and just a regular person. And what I want to do for Palatka is bring up the standards of Palatka. Give the people what they've been waiting for so long. First of all, I'm talking about what I want to do and so on. But let me give you a little of my background, where I come from. I was raised in a little town called Grange, Georgia. I am a Georgia born. I was raised up on a farm. I can say something else. But anyway, times were hard back then. I'm what you call grassroots, from the bottom up. My skills, all my skills that I brought here was trained through hands-on. I don't know if you heard of the old school called Hard Knocks. Hard Knocks is where all my skills come in. Back then, you didn't go to school. I mean, they didn't have what you call schooling that you can just go and get skills. Everything then was just like, you get a job, you get trained on that job. There wasn't no schooling, but anyway, what I'm trying to do here is, I guess I'm just a little nervous, but at the same time, I'm here. And I'm here for all of you all. And what I want to do for Palatka is lift the spirit, give people hope, dream. I love Palatka. When I came here, I saw this town and I said, this is home, and it's gonna always be home. But anyway, my name is Junior Roger Daniel, and right now, that's it.
Well, let us begin.
All right.
Question number one, we're going to start with Ms. Correa. It was confirmed last week that the city will be losing both the city attorney hire this spring. Describe the professional attributes you feel are most important of these positions.
Well, they're clearly two different positions and two different roles, so you have to define each of them. The city manager in the Palatka form of government is really the executive for the city. They are responsible for the day-to-day operations of the city and the employee oversight and those sort of things that go on for each department. We need somebody who has that experience with employees, has experience as a leader, is not afraid to take responsibility for things that can be challenging and difficult, which will be the case. I remember as a public administrator having some of those similar experiences. Also, some of the staff are unionized, such as firefighters, so you have to be comfortable dealing with negotiations with unions as well. And will have to be a person that has all of those skills and more, and definitely a people person. First and foremost, they've got to be able to listen to constituents, hear what they say, whether they agree with them or not, and be able to take some of that information back to the city commission and that leadership that makes the policies. That in summary for the city manager. For the city attorney, obviously that legal knowledge, particularly as regards to municipalities and government, I think that's very important. Obviously, there's a lot of specialties in law, but you would have to have some of that background or be open to a lot of training in that background because it is a specific skill. You also have to have those people skills and be able to take direction from the city commission, and be able to handle that even if you don't agree with it. However, I also think it's important that you should be able to speak and provide your own independent thoughts and share it with those people on the commission, and feel comfortable doing that. I think that in summary is about my answer.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Daniel, city commission, city attorney and city manager.
Okay, this is what I think. I heard and I saw in the newspaper that hiring at this in the next few months. But I mean, we need good leaders, strong leaders. I'm hoping if I be elected, we leaders, strong leaders to replace the city manager. Same time, I know they've been here, they work hard, they did their job, and this and that. But time comes now where it's time to make change, and change is just here now, and we need to, great thing. So, that's what I say.
Thank you both. Next question, this time we're going to start with you, Mr. Daniel. Next question focuses on transparency in government. Or to keep the public informed of consequential issues, and if so, what specific actions should the city take?
Well, I would say, the issues that around town, here, like, I would think that to get the information out, got to communicate. You need to communicate, because communication is, what you call, a very delicate thing, communication. And so, well, okay. But anyway, I'm just being human for a minute here. But anyway, communication goes a long way, and we need to inform the people here, keep them in tact with what's going on around our city, what's happening around our city. Because right now, our city just being as a local contractor, it's just being torn up, not being put back together. But at the same time, we need to inform people what's happening and what we need to do to correct our issues.
Ms. Correa?
Clearly, we need to improve communication in the city, and obviously transparency is very important. We could do that in a number of ways. Currently, the city has a website that has been less than functional. It basically has said it's down for the most part. There's very little information because it does not meet current ADA requirements for that media. And I think it's either one of those things where we correct it and invest the money in doing that as a form of communication, or we pull it down and start over again. Also, if there are important issues, we have the newspaper, we have some local radio stations, and we can also do communication newsletters in our utility bills if there were something critical that we need to get out to the city residents. So that we try all various ways to communicate with people. It may also be helpful to have a person that is a public relations person for the city that could communicate and be in touch with the press, with social media, to make sure all the information is out there and everybody has a chance to read that information, process that information. And I think that's about it for me.
All right, thank you very much. Question number 3. You both have been paragons of very direct responses and to the point. So you may get more questions tonight than just 6. And see how it
Oh,
plays
that's
out.
the punishment.
Keep that in mind. It's not Jeopardy or anything. It's not like you're not going to have to guess, but you'll have an opportunity, I think, to express yourself many times. Question number 3, and again, we're going to start with Ms. Correa on this one. Several candidates and residents have stated that the residents' perception of Palatka needs to improve to promote. Second, how can you help the commission accomplish this within your that is to improve the perception of the city?
I think I've already tried to do that in different ways as a private citizen and as a volunteer. I think we all have to be positive about Palatka. We need to get out the information of all the good things that are happening. Yes, we know not everything's perfect. But I think if we can promote Palatka as a positive place to live, work, and play, we have a lot to offer in this community, in Putnam County, and I don't think we're very good at tooting our horn. If we could all be positive ambassadors for not just, I think, again, the city and county, beyond our borders and get people in. That's the other possibility of somebody who's here. Have various things available. For example, you want to do a day in Palatka, these are the things that you can do. And we could have all of those in brochures, on our website, and in various communities. Want to do a weekend, we could do all of these marketing packages to have all of these things available for people. I have a business downtown, and honestly, the bulk of the people that shop at my business are coming from somewhere else. People that live locally are the least likely to shop at my market. So we really have to believe in our community and promote our community in a positive way.
Daniel?
Okay. Testing. Want to make sure it's there. But anyway, promoting Palatka.
The perception of the community, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I think, no, I don't want to use that word think because that's not the word you want to use. What we need to do with Palatka is, yes, we need to do some promoting for Palatka. We need to, Palatka would need to, we need, now, let me say this here about Palatka. Palatka, right now, we're in desperate need for affordable homes, good paying jobs for citizens. We need what you call a vocational school, so we can train our youth, our young adults, so they can get the skills that they need. And what I'm trying to say is that will promote I'm getting in a spot right here. I got it in me. It's just that, I'm just trying to take my time and get it out like I'm supposed to. I know what I need to say because I've been talking in so long. And, can you hear me over there? But anyway, like I was saying, we need to promote Palatka by, bringing in sorts of jobs. We need to, like I say, about the schooling. I'm getting off again. I'm talking too fast. We'll skip on that.
Let me follow up on one. I'm going to take a little liberty here since I'm on. Comments from both of you regarding things that we need to. The problem has always been people have had concepts and ideas and policies they'd like to see adopted. The problem is the gap between the reality and the hope. What are we going to do in Palatka to try to create jobs, to create a different image? We talk about we want to do that, but how do we go about doing that? What do you think you can do as a commission to help direct that process? Mr. Mayor, start with you.
Well, of course, we do need jobs. We need homes, affordable homes. First of all, I guess what we need to do is, yes, and the word's spoken. But right now, we just have jobs that fast foods do have seminar and we do have GP, but at the same time, we need other sources. We need, we really can use a good, what's called factory, bring in new jobs, you know. For an example, I just say it like this here. Back in my hometown, you know, it's similar to this, like itself, but at the same time, we brought in a factory well, they brought in a factory. Well, I don't know, I guess I'm getting off track here. So let me just, I guess it's just all, I'm trying to shake this nervousness to be me, because that's what I'm supposed to be, is me. I'm a happy, cheerful person, and I love talking to people. I'm a people person, you know, and I usually get the job done. And I usually come right on out and say what I need to say and get it on out. And right now, you know, it's just, I guess I'm feeling a little tense, but I'm trying to be myself where I can get it on out. Just give me a little, and I'm going to get it out to you. But right now, we'll let her, Ms. Rhonda, take.
Oh, thank you.
Now, Ms. Priya, how do we turn our needs for a change of perception into reality?
I think we start, first of all, with downtown. Downtown is kind of the empathy, it will be kind of the place to start. Downtown will have the most impact, not just in the city, but the county. The way of downtown goes in a positive way, it's the way of the whole county goes. There are several ways to do that. We need to have stronger code enforcement ordinances so that we can improve the overall appearance of downtown. We can look back at having the Main Street program, which is a national program that's been quite successful in revitalizing communities when done correctly and those principles are followed. We're a community redevelopment area. We can use some of those funds to provide or dust off our facade grant, which we used to have, maybe update it as it needs to be done. Work with property owners, make them responsible for the interior, and with timelines for completion and having the building occupied, while they may be able to get some funding from the CRA to fix the exterior facades and give an appearance downtown, improved appearance overall, not just hit or miss as we have kind of now. I think, again, we need to promote and market ourselves beyond what we have to offer, get people here. We also can visit other communities that have been successful. DeLand might be a good example. The possibility of getting downtown listed on the National Register could lead to federal historic tax credits. And if the state, which seems like it could happen in the future, approves a state historic tax credit, people could qualify, investors, developers for that invest in the downtown district and be able to use that. It's also a marketing tool in a positive way. Many people travel and go to various historic downtowns and look for those National Register and those kind of communities that support the historic integrity of their society.
All right, question next. It was 4, now it's going to be 5. In October 2018, the city shifted its building and planning department. It has been contracting with the county for permitting and other developmental services. How do you feel about this decision, and would you push to change it, and why? Maria, your turn.
I would certainly push to change it. I think it might have been, it seemed to be the right decision at the time, but given the current economic climate and the fact that people are going to keep moving to Florida, and Palatka is one of those places I can tell you as a realtor that we have more and more folks coming from elsewhere. Many people moving from St. Augustine, South Florida, and up north. And I think we need to be prepared for that. We need to have some positive growth strategies in place, and we need our full planning department. Whether we contract to a building official even have time to start, and we have some more supports for the planning director to get things done, We make that department consumer friendly. So if somebody comes in and wants to construct something or wants to start a business, they can say, I want to open a retail market, for example, and they can be given, say, a checklist. This is what you're going to need to do. So again, that we're customer friendly. Same for any other type of small business or development. These are the things you need to do to accomplish what you want to. Be solution oriented and based. Thanks.
Daniel, what about the planning department?
Well, the planning department, what I can say about the planning, I can say this here. I'm the type of man that tend to get my research together where I can put things together. And that's the step of it. So that I can answer your question like I want to. I mean, I hear what Ms. Robbins said, but at the same time, I just haven't got there yet. So I'm going to pass on that one too.
Do you think it's good to have the city run it or the county run it, the planning department?
Well, I see what's going on here. I mean, you got the city doing so much, and then you got the county doing everything. I would think the city we should come together where we can work together. But at the same time, I know that ain't gonna work. So I would think that the city should stay with the city and then the county, and we can work that out.
Well, I can't resist the follow-up question. If the city, and again, as I understand the way this works, the city or the county doesn't actually make the regulations, the land use regulations, the zoning regulations and so forth. They're simply contracting with the city to enforce and to promote and then to process applications. Is there something, however, that you as candidate commissioners see as a vision for how the city should be developed?
As one person, obviously, that's not going to make my decision. I'm not going to make that decision alone. I think whatever we do, we need to be prepared. I'm not certain that we are now. Those investors and developers are going to come here. They're going to come here with funding. And if we are not ready to address it in a proactive planning manner, some neighboring communities have been overrun with development. I think we need to caution about that. While we do want people to come here and invest in our community, we want to retain our charm and character that we have here. I think people move here to Palatka because it is more low-key than some other places nearby. And we need to have that balance. And I'm not sure that we have those plans and guidelines in place. I am not a planner by trade, but I certainly think we need to work that and look at those, again, cities that are successful. I always believe in not reinventing the wheel. There are other people that have done this, other communities that have done this right, and I think we can learn from that and adopt some of those strategies or may tailor them for our use.
Daniel, what about the vision for our planning and development?
Well, I wouldn't use that word well, but let me say the vision, our development. I would say I have a vision that itself. Let me say this here. When I first come across the river there, I saw only thing I could see was a town, and I said to myself, "This is a great town, Palatka." And I can't understand why it's Palatka, it's still like hold back, but at the same time, we need to take time. We need to, I guess I'm just getting stuck here. I'm getting stuck. I can't seem to get out what I want to say.
You got the microphone.
Yeah, I know it. And I got it all in my hand, and I got it up to my cheeks, and I can't seem to get it out like I want to. I can't be, I know what I'm supposed to be here for. I know what I'm supposed to be saying, and I can't seem to get that word out of me just because. But anyway, Palatka is a great city, great town. I love Palatka. And, you know, I would like to see Palatka rise up and raise the standards, you know, it is now, you know, because Palatka, you know, it's a great town. I mean, it's got potential, you know, we got St. John's River sitting here, coming through here. We have a lot of visitors coming through here. We have the biggest tournaments here. Palatka should be promoting itself a lot better than what it is. You know, I mean, you know, the people here, you know, we deserve more. You know, why are we holding back from each other when we can get more from each other and put Palatka back on the map again? I mean, you know, it's a shame that, you know, the old saying, well, not old saying, but I have heard, you know, why is Palatka called a dead city? Why is it the poorest city around? I can't understand that. And I'm here every day. I see Palatka, but Palatka is a great town. And if you know, I know I'm not right now. My words crossed up this and that, but Palatka could be better than what it is now. And we need to come together and put Palatka back on the map.
All right, see, you got it out. Question, what is it do you see as the biggest challenge facing Palatka right now, and how should the city address it? Ms. Green?
Right now, my opinion is the public safety issues in our neighborhoods. That seems to be our biggest challenge at the moment. The police department is taking some strong strides to address these issues, at least now at this point. And I really think that impacts, again, investment. People to move here and feel they live in a safe environment. So I think that's definitely a focus of the commission. And we have to address that and work closely with the police department, make sure they have the adequate resources to address the issues, not just with police officers, but with maybe mental health services on a contract basis, and certainly victim advocacy. So again, I think that's one of the biggest issues we need to address.
Mr. Daniel?
Not gonna say that word well again. I'm just gonna start right on out. Yes, we have, yes, safety is a big issue here. And I think our officers are doing a great job. And we can do more, we can do better, because, you know, and also, you know, I want to get perhaps to the first alert also. They doing a good job, they do. And, but, you know, when it comes down to our safety here, you know, around the town area, you know, I know we have issues, and that's everywhere. But, you know, when it comes down to, I would think, I don't want to use that word think, that word, I don't know why I keep popping out, but you don't use that word, you don't ever think. You either sure yourself or not. But anyway, when it comes down to drastic issues around town, which we sometimes have, you know, it comes to drastic measures. And that means, you know, I would think, you know, to help our officers around the city to calm down the issues that we have, you know, it's good if we can have eyes where we can see what's going on. Because, you know, I see our officers here and there, you know, and first thing they do is knock on the doors, and if they see you got a video camera, they want to knock on your doors, because if they don't have eyes on, they can't see what's going on out there. And I think video cameras would be good if we brought them back. I heard we had them on the poles, but they don't work. I don't know if they work or not, But at the same time, but you know, safety is a good thing for Palatka, because that, when we got people coming from out of town and so on, you know, we want to make sure that they feel safe when they come here. You know, we have the festivals coming to town, we have the tournaments coming to town. We don't want to have corruption all around our city and neighborhoods and around the people. They don't want to come, you know. So, you know, we need to work on that a little bit more.
All right, thank you. The last question, the formal question we have, and it's something that, it deals with something that we have alluded to previously in your responses, and that has to do with derived from reader comments and editorial perspectives that the newspaper has had. One of the biggest economic needs in this city, high-paying jobs. If elected, how do you see your role as mayor in this here? I think that the gist of the question is, again, it's easy to say we want jobs. The hard part is how do we get them to come? And
Well, I'm gonna use that word. First of all, we need to have a plan. You have to have a plan to put together to bring in these sources of jobs, and putting a plan together, you know, to bring in these resources. Then what you need to do is, what we have to do is, say for an example, okay, right now, you know, we don't have, I heard, you know, a whole lot, I hear lots out there in the street. We don't have a suitable restaurants that you can go out and just sit down and eat a good home-cooked meal. I mean, once upon a time, we had Golden Corral, but it all gone. Now we do have here and there is all the fast food, you know, the seafood, the fried food. We don't have collard greens and turnip greens, black-eyed peas and cornbread and all that. We need that here. And that we can, if we can promote a restaurant, it's a place here in down south here, and it would be great here, and they serve great food. And I would do myself and reach out to all these vendors. I would call and I would try my best. I would work hard to get these vendors, whether it's the restaurant, whether it's a factory, whether it's a contractor company, or whatever. I would do my hardest to get these companies to come to Palatka so we can put Palatka, give Palatka the standard that it needs.
Sabrina, how do we lure businesses and jobs?
Well, I think, first of all, we can't do it in isolation. We need to work closely with the county, with the Chamber of Commerce. We also need to work closely with the school district. I remember, given my age, that when we were in high school, we were all encouraged to go to college. The trades were kind of lost. I know the school district is starting that. We're all championing that, and I think we need to have a stronger trades program. We have to have that, the skilled workers to offer businesses to come here. Without that skilled workforce, they will not have those opportunities. I think we have to have all that groundwork done, and we really do have to work united as a city and county. We're all in this together. I also believe strongly in small businesses. We may need some micro industries. I don't think we're going to get any mega industries coming here in the near future. So maybe we should be looking towards those micro industries. The eggplant producing company is one of those examples where they have come here, and it seems to be a successful venture. We have a downtown, and we have other places throughout the city and county where small businesses could be started. We need to work with the Small Business Development Center and keep encouraging, and perhaps provide some incentives, tax credits, ways to get businesses here. We have reasonably priced real estate. We have a workforce available to be trained, and we have affordable housing. So I think that all of those things work in our favor.
those conclude the four questions and the follow-up questions that we have. And again, we're going to try to give ourselves some time between this meeting and the next one starting at 7. So at this point, we're going to ask our candidates to take a few moments and give us a summary and a final statement regarding your candidacy, any you might wish to make, and we're going to hold it to about 4 minutes total for each of you. Okay? Steve, Mr. Daniel, we start with you. We start with 3 at the beginning.
All right.
You get to go.
All right. What I'd like to say to you all is, tonight has been an experience for me. Glad to see you all come out tonight. I may and I didn't deliver what I want to say to you all tonight. I have it in me, but it didn't come out like I want to. But it's in me. I got it. And I know for a fact that it's with me. But what I want to say is, we, the people of Palatka, we love our home, we love our city, we appreciate what we have here, but at the same time, we can use a lot more than what we have here. We all in this same, I would use the word, the same, I won't say that word, but we all in it together. We need to stay together, we need to work together, we need to come together, we need to do whatever we need to do to solve the problem, the issues that we have around Palatka. Because, you know, I'm willing to work hard for you all. I'm willing to stand tough and work hard and do whatever I need to do to bring Palatka to the standards it should be and put Palatka back on the map. And we all come together, because coming together resolve the issues around here, Palatka, and everywhere else. As long as we, I would say, long as we separation, we don't get nothing done like we want to. We got to come together. We got to realize that we all in this the same world. We all in this same life. We all going through the same thing. And it would be a glorious thing to see we all come together as one. I could say unity, but as one, because coming together makes us strong. We can solve any issues, any problem, anything that come about us, because opinions amongst all of us come together. And I'm willing to work with everybody. I'm a people person, and I love people. I love you all. I love myself just as well. I love you all. And we just need to come together and care about one another. I know we have the good and the bad out there, but we got to recognize the good and the bad. We got some good in a lot of us, and I know we need to just work it out, and we need to shake hands, speak to one another. I mean, it's bad when you got your neighbors, you coming out your doors and you see them out there working in the yard, you don't look at them, you don't say nothing. I mean, we've been living this life for so long. We need to recognize, we need to come together, because God, I hate to bring that name up, He didn't put us here to be as we is. We've been going through this for so many years. We don't even know what life could be like if we were together. I mean, it ain't no such thing as colors. We all human beings. And we should care about one another. I do. I care about every one of you all. I don't know all of you all, but I care about every one of you. Even you all over here. You too, Ryan. I love you too, girl. I don't care, you know, I'm about people. So, my time is up. Please conclude. Okay.
That's something to follow.
Once you got started,
I know.
somebody said he wasn't going to be taking you win. Very well. Ms. Correa.
And you maybe go after that. Um, I'm Robbie Correa again, and I just think it's time for a change in leadership in the city and feel I'm the right person. I have both the public and private skills and community. I have worked well. I have encouraged growth. I am an investor in the downtown area. I believe in Palatka. I believe it can be a vibrant city again. It has a rich history, amazing architecture, and the St. Johns River. And we need to value and preserve all that we have while we move forward and encourage other people to enjoy our community and well. So thank you all for coming, and I think that's all I have to say after following Junior.
All right, this is going to conclude our forum for the first session this evening. I'd like again to thank Robbie Correa and Junior Daniel, who are the two of the candidates for the position of mayor of the city of Palatka. Also, I'd like to thank Casimir Harrison and the Palatka Daily News for their work in organizing and developing this program, and also to St. John's River Junior College and Brazil in specific, and President Joe Pickens for their work in producing and podcast and having the facility. We are going to recess until 7 o'clock sharp, at which time we will begin the public forum for the county commission, district court. Until then, thank you very much. We're now off.
Yes. All right. The first time for everything.
You made it. It gets easier.
I worry about these things.
online.
Okay, so welcome back to the 2022 election forum put on by the Palatka Daily News and the St. John's River State College. Just for clarity, I had said it earlier when we had the introductions, that I was very excited, being this is my first forum. And in an effort to be fair, I sent invitations to all the candidates in the District 4 race to make sure that I was still fair. I offered an opportunity to all the candidates for a 5-minute introduction. But for the question and answer section, we are just going to be focusing on the Republicans in the primary that voters will see on their ballots. So with that,
Everyone who is streaming in and those who are present with us. By way of introduction, my name is Ron Brown. I've been asked by the Daily News and St. John's River State College to come and help moderate tonight's proceedings. This is the second of 2 broadcasts this evening. The previous broadcast involved candidates for the city of Palatka mayor. This race will involve the candidate for county commission district. Primary ballot, who are with us this evening, Larry Harvey, Tom Williams, a challenger, but there are 2 other candidates who can appear on the general election ballot. They will not appear on the primary ballot. As Casimir has indicated, to attend tonight, and what we're going to do before we begin with the questions and answers regarding Mr. Harvey and Mr. Williams, we're going to ask the 2 other candidates to come and spend no more than 5 minutes to introduce themselves and give us a brief introductory statement. And we're going to do that by alphabetical order. So we're going to begin with Ronald Burkhardt.
Hello, my name's Ron Burkhardt. I go by Ron, so you can call me Ron Burkhardt. I am a resident of Putnam County, lived here a little over 30 years. I live out in Florida home in God's country, next to George's Lake. When I first started looking at moving up here, I lived in Palm Beach County. I worked as a police officer down there, and I said, I've got to get out of this place. I said, let me go explore the state of Florida for a while and see where I'd like to live. And I found Putnam County. I said, this is paradise. And this is paradise, people. You don't know what you got here. And it has always been my thing to try helping my community in any way I can. So for the last 30 years, I've been a fireman. I just retired from the fire department. I now volunteer out in George's Lake as a fireman. I've volunteered as a soccer coach and a baseball coach here at Palatka at Triangle Park for years. And then I got away from that, got too busy doing other crazy things. I got some crazy ideas that I think will really work, or not crazy ideas, I think good ideas that will really work to help improve Putnam County, help us with our infrastructure, help us attract jobs, help us make the county a better place to live. Like I say, this is paradise, people. Let's keep it paradise. Let's slow down on what's happening in Clay County, the rapid, overblown construction and development keeps some of this county to ourselves. We can have development, but let's throttle it a little bit and don't let it overrun us, because if it takes us over, we're going to lose every bit we've got here. And we've got the St. Johns County running through the center of it. We've got Rodman Reservoir on the south end. We've got the best fishing in the world here. This is paradise. We should be bringing people down here to visit them. But slow down on how many stay. Thank you very much.
Hey, you like Doug or Douglas?
You can call me Doug, you can call
Doug.
me
I got
Doug.
Ron and Doug. I
Just
got
don't call me late for dinner.
There you go. Mr. Hayes, it's yours.
Hi, everybody. My name is Douglas Hayes. This is not my first rodeo running for county commissioner, but I been maintaining the same platform endlessly. Transparency and citizen participation. My slogan is no more good old boys. It seems as if the citizens in this county who are bright and have education and background and travels want to participate and offer their advice, and they get stifled. As a county commissioner, I'll be the third vote needed to move the minutes of the meeting to the evenings where citizens can participate. The citizen advisory boards, If 35 people want to be part of that advisory board, 35 people should be a part of that advisory board. Town hall meetings. I personally will have town hall meetings in my district. Whether the others follow suit, it doesn't have to have all of us there. The idea is to communicate with the folks in my district to find out what their demands and needs are. And perhaps I can lead by example. One of the things I discovered is Mr. Harvey had moved the minutes of the meeting for public speak to the tail end of the meeting, which has now stifled the citizen. That was his idea when he became chairman. That's a concern. We need change in that. One of the other things too is when the statute became an issue, I was for putting up for election. Instead, the good old boys, the epicenters of the Chamber of Commerce, had written a letter with the idea of demanding that the commissioners put it to a vote to move the statute. Mr. Harvey championed that idea. So once again, the citizens have been stifled. So that's why I'm running in his seat. Time for a change. Finally, I have an answer to a $10 million concern. Our radio communications for the first responders, both police and fire department, they've got this idea to do a regional network in collaboration with St. Johns County. And the cost is going to be roughly $8 to $10 million, give or take. And so then anyway, the problem is that one, it's only covering the region of Clay and St. Johns County when a lot of our needs are over in Alachua County, so they're not part of the region. And we have a statewide network. $12.50 of our traffic ticket money could go to pay for the subscription for that network. It doesn't have the newest and latest technology yet. They're still in development. So what I have discovered though, in my research, because I'm a research guru and a grant hound, is that Florida Power and Light, they have the newest and latest P25 network in play. I talked to a man that climbs telephone poles. He can call Miami on the radio if he wants. He can call Tallahassee. It's up and running. So all we have to do is either give them the free ride is to persuade Florida Power and Light to use this as a marketing tool, how they're offering communications for our first responders in a rural county, or we could give them some tax relief on some of their properties. And that way we would have a complete regional statewide network. And guess what happens when there's a storm event and the communication goes down? Who's the first to go in? Power company. One of their secrets is they have some of their repeaters are actually on their poles. I've been trying to say that for weeks now to get stifled. I finally got you guys. Maybe you can put a bug in your leader's ear. That's about it. I have ideas. I think I'm through and have solutions. So that's why I'm running for office. Thank you and God bless. I'm a write-in candidate, and I'll be in November. So if you like what I stand for, you'll physically have to write my name down. Part of that strategy, because these two have put a lot of money into the primaries, and they're very popular. I'm the little guy. You have the has and the has-nots. I represent the has-nots. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hayes. Just as a reminder to our format for the two remaining candidates, we're going to have a 5-minute introduction from each candidate, and again, we'll take those alphabetically. For Mr. Harvey, you get to go first. Then we're going to have a series of questions that have been developed by the by the Daily News, based on some comments from their subscribers. Then we may have to follow up questions regarding those. We'll again alternate the answers to the questions. So probably the first question will go to Mr. Williams, since Mr. Harvey's going to start off with the presentation. I would be remiss at this time if I did not point out someone we haven't introduced yet formally. And that's the new publisher of the Palatka Daily News, who's with us tonight, Jennifer. She's even agreed to keep time for this event. Boss. All that you've done, and wish you luck with your new role as the publisher of the Daily News. I know that's an interesting task. I've been reading the newspaper all my life. I'm one of these natives who's read it since day one.
That's
Anyway, we look forward to that. With that said, we're now going to begin with the introductions, and we'll start off with Mr. Harvey, 5 minutes.
Well, thank you, Mr. Brown, and thank you to the college for having this and the Palatka Daily News for supporting this and bringing this out, and to everybody out in YouTube land that is watching us tonight. It's an honor and a privilege to be standing here as your county commissioner working for you. Back in 2014, I received a call, would you like to be a county commissioner? And from that point on, I have worked diligently for this county. I came here. My sister was born here in 1961. My grandfather came out of Plattsburgh, New York to start Hudson Pulp and Paper tissue converting side. I was a cop when he came out of the Navy, and he was fired from the city of Palatka, and I was born in Jacksonville. Moved down, came Dora, ran us out of Ponte Vedra. We weren't rich. My mother was a nurse, and my dad was a police officer, but they lived in housing there to oversee a little store. And so we went down there, my parents split up, and make a long story short, my mother passed away at 32 years of age. Harvey, and my dad was living up here at the time. So I went to Mosley, actually the Catholic school, for those of you who remember the Catholic school, Mosley Elementary, split shifts at the middle school, Palatka Central High School, Bill Vogt. Also Palatka High School, which we call the new high school, but it's 30 years old now. It's really, so been here my whole life, attended St. Johns River Community College back then, but was homeless, lived in my car a lot. I lived on people's couches and worked really hard, worked at Paint Your Pride at the shopping center where I'm currently located now. God has given me a wonderful life. I married my wife, Linda, 38 years ago. We have daughters, 5 grandchildren, 2 great-grandchildren. So I've been blessed, and I had a great insurance career. But it's kind of neat that I'm back in the plaza where I started bagging groceries as a young boy, wondering, Lord, is this what I'm going to do the rest of my life? By Governor Scott, I told you that in 2014. And the day I got the call, I was in the Rotary meeting. I said, Governor, I got to put you on hold while I walk outside. I went right down to the office and said, where do I go to work at? And I went right to work. And for some of you who remember my first meeting, they wouldn't allow me to vote on anything because they didn't have the paperwork from the governor. I had to wait. And when we got done with the meeting, it was on the fax machine. So I've never stopped working, and I'm never going to stop working for you. Putnam County it's been home to me. It's been a good place to raise my family, to have a wonderful career. And I look forward to the opportunities of promoting Putnam County throughout Florida and throughout Washington, D.C. As I was very privileged to be invited under the Trump administration 3 times, once for the inauguration and 2 times to the White House, to give problems of Putnam County. And I did. I brought things up that we needed to get done. And I've also stood in the Oval Office when President Trump was prayed for our president. I make it a point when I go to Tallahassee or the White House or to Washington to go before there and pray, because our leaders deserve that, and we deserve it here at the county level. So I am Larry Harvey. I would appreciate your consideration as we go through tonight, and I would appreciate your vote come on or before August 23rd. Thank you very much.
Tom Williams.
I would also like to thank I would also like to thank everybody in the college and the paper and the people out there on YouTube for listening to us tonight. I'm not as elegant speaker as my partner or as my opponent over here, but I will get my point across to you. I worked hard at everything I do. I've been married to my wife Leah, which is right back here in the audience right now, for a little over 30 plus years. Together we have 3 sons, 1 daughter, 4 granddaughters, and 1 great-granddaughter. I very much believe in a strong Christian family and moral values, which lead me in the way that I make decisions throughout life. I've been I can't say that I was born in Putnam County. I chose to come up to Putnam County. And I chose to come up here because of my sister who was here about 10 years prior to me getting here. So I've only been here 25 years, but during that 25 years, I've owned a business in Interlochen, an automotive repair business, successful, profitable. Before doing that, I retired off the Metro-Dade Police Department down in Dade County. I went through the fantastic drug wars that you even see some movies on TV about them. So I've been a certified law enforcement for 40 plus years, which helps me make decisions also. I made decisions in split seconds that really can affect people's lives. And with the values that I have and the Christian values and all, I don't regret any decision that I've ever had to make as a police officer, as a business owner. I was a former member of the Northeast Florida Planning Council. I've been a member of 3 Putnam County planning boards, or 3 Putnam County boards. One was a planning commission, 1 contractors review panel, and a disciplinary panel. I was a charter sergeant of arms for the Rotary Club down in Interlochen, Lakes area. And I'm very active in a lot of local clubs and organizations, and I give time and resources. I sponsored 3 Habitat for Humanity homes in Interlochen, and I did that through the business, as I think when Linda was in business up here with Dunkin' Donuts, she sponsored 2 or 3 also. And I also helped build 6 of those. I've been the chair of the REC, which is the Republican Executive Committee, for the past 6 years, during which time we flipped the county from a majority Democrat to a majority Republican. We're now almost at least 8,500 close. We're getting close, ahead of them. In coming up here and being the way that we are, I've been accused of being one of the richest people in Interlochen. I'm not wealthy, but I will say that I think I'm one of the richest people in Interlochen. I have fantastic customers, a great family, a great community, and I don't know what else you could ask for. Now, why am I running for this position? Basically, it's time. It's time for honesty, integrity, respect, and no excuses, true transparency. See a survey that was published in the paper that says 75% of the people in this county don't think within the next 5 years that we're going to improve. It's time for a change here. I don't really need this position. I think the job needs me. It needs someone who will listen to the citizens, as alluded to by one of the other gentlemen that spoke up here a few minutes ago. Someone who will respond to them, someone who can work with the other commissioners to make this county the county that it should be. And can't, as alluded also, my opponent doesn't support evening meetings. I do, and I'll push for them. The excuse that nobody will attend an evening meeting is a bogus excuse. Most people don't attend a daytime meeting, and they can't do it because most of them are at work. So, and I think the citizens should be heard at the beginning, or at least at the very early part of the meeting, not at the end of not at the end of it. And as alluded to someone else, citizen participation is going to be a priority for me. I will listen and respond to you. People ask, what's your experience and why are you running? Well, my experience is about the same as my opponent's whenever he was appointed 14 years ago. Running the county is no different than running any other type of business, and I ran businesses operated, ran, and worked for people for over 45 years, making the decisions, balancing the books, buying materials and stuff. So it's just, I use common sense and plan ahead. I think you need to be proactive in this county, not reactive. On my way up here, I drove by the sign out there for the Youth Complex Center up here in Francis. The sign is coming apart. And the reason I say this is I think we should be proactive. When we're reactive, it always costs more money. So we need to be proactive. The sign just needs the leg put back on it and slide back in before it breaks it. Once it breaks, then we have to buy a whole new sign. And it's just stuff like that that's throughout the county. Thank you all.
Conclude your thought.
I think it's time for, boy, that messed me up. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to tell you, I'm Tom Williams. I will work my tail off for you. I'm just a normal type person. I'm not an eloquent speaker, but I get the job done. I've been good at everything I've ever done in my life. So on or before August 23rd, I'm also asking for your vote to vote for me at your County Commission District 4. Thank you.
Y'all cold, okay? But give us a chance to finish your thought. She indicates there's time. Finish your thought, and then we'll we'll go on to the next item. So now we're going to begin with the formal questions. And Mr. Williams, you get to. And again, these questions were derived from information received by the Daily News staff, and some of the staff have indicated their input. Number one, when did you choose to become a member of the political party of which you are now a member, and what made you choose that party?
When I turned 18 years of age, I went and signed up as a Republican. I've never changed, never wavered from it. My conservative values and my faith coincides with the way they believe. And that's why I did it. I've just never changed. I've never wavered from being a Republican or conservative.
Thank you. You know, back when I got out of school and registered to vote, you had to be a Democrat here, a Southern Democrat, in order. And a lot of us were, and I'm not going to shy away from that. People in this room were that way. Cut down 8,500 people who have switched their party from the Democrat to Republican. Those people made a choice because a lot of times the party left them. They didn't leave the party. Question, back in 2012, I felt very led to run for supervisor elections against my friend, Mr. Overturf, and he's a dear friend of mine. I was running as a no-party affiliate for that spot. And as soon as that race was over with and I was unsuccessful, I changed to the Republican Party because my values were there. And most of us in this room and throughout the viewing audience, their values were there too. So this county has seen a shift because of what I would say that the party left us. We didn't leave the party. Thank you.
Let me follow up with that one if I might. If you could, and you've made a decision about which party you joined, what would you say are the three most prominent values of your party?
I think when you look at the values of the Republican Party, we invite people in, where you have a voice there. You're not subservient to others. You're not beat down. We respect the ideological differences, but we also, we love our freedom. We love the freedoms that we have, and we encourage that. So when you look at the Republican Party, today's Republican Party, you look at the freedom, you look at the advancement of people, you look at everybody's invited to the table, and I believe that's what drew me. But plus the decline of the morals of the other party on a national basis just turned me off, and it turned a lot of people off, and you couldn't relate to that party. So I can relate to the Republican Party because I do feel like I have a voice now. Thank you.
If I was correct, you asked what were the three reasons?
The three values that you think are the most important.
I think the Christian values that they have, the moral values, they believe in life, not death, for our babies. I think that's it. You know, they have strong Christian values, they have strong moral values, family values, and they believe in life and liberty. And, you know, I don't need to give you a long speech on why it's there.
All right, thank you both. This is the next formal question, and since it's formal, let's start back with Mr. Hart. The Republican Executive Committee is expected to vote on whether. How do you feel the committee should vote, and please explain why you feel that way?
Thank you, but I don't think the committee should vote at all. I think that they should stay out like they have in the past and let the primary take care of the primary. I made that very clear in a letter back in March when I was on a bus to go to a Cat Cumic and Jim Jordan rally, and told this is why we're doing this. We're going to vote, kick you incumbents out, and that's what I was told. That's not fair. That's not alienating. We're not going to let 17 people in this Republican Executive Committee dictate what the party's going to do and what the public is going to do. That's not fair. And believe me, What happened last week or 2 weeks ago was a travesty in this county, and it should never happen again. That's why we have primaries. Thank you.
Well, Mr. Harvey's a little bit incorrect on that decision. First of all, I am the chairman of the REC. I did not make that decision. I only run the REC. It was made by the members of the REC. There's a reason for it. The REC's job is to educate the public so they can vote. If you take a look around this room tonight, now luckily they're streaming. Most of the time when we have these forums, we have 10, 15, 20 people that show up. Out of that 20 people, probably 10 are following this candidate, 10 are following this candidate. The public out there has no idea sometimes on whose values and whose policies that they want to follow. It is the REC's responsibility to let the public, the citizens of the particular counties know what's going on and know who they think should be running. It's no different than being endorsed by the newspaper if they were going to do it, or being endorsed by the NEFAR, which did endorse two people today. Endorsements are endorsements, and it's because they vet them. The vetting committee, the entire vetting committee was part of the Republican Club. I don't make that decision. I run the REC. And if the people want to, if the members want to do, what they did was invoke Rule 8. I'm very passionate about that. They have the right to do it. The same thing with our judges. Judges are non-political. The school board is nonpartisan. The school board is nonpartisan. It is the job of the REC to educate the public. Whether someone gets a little bit upset about it or thinks it's not going the right way. I walked into that NEFAR conference the other day knowing exactly who was going to be picked. I didn't go there and act like a 2-year-old child, which is what's happening right now. So it's our job as REC to educate the public, and that's what we're doing. No one even said they were going to endorse anybody. There's a possibility someone may be endorsed. They're making it act like they're acting like 2-year-old or second graders, which is what was said in the paper. It's a joke.
Because it's your turn to do so. Next, transparency in government. Do you feel the county could do more to keep the public issues, and if so, what specific actions should the county take?
But not being a member of the commission right now, I don't know that I can tell you the perception, and perception is reality as far as people are concerned out there. The perception is the citizens aren't taken care of, and they feel like they're neglected, especially out in our district. As far as transparency, I think the mayor, the young lady that was running for mayor, and Mr. Junior brought up a few good things. They have a webpage, we can put everything out there. We need to have the people's participation at the beginning of the meeting, not at the end of the meeting where everybody gets upset and goes home instead. We need to listen to them. I think there's a commissioner, and it'll probably come out later, when you can't even get the commissioner to get the right paperwork or the information that they need to be able to do their job, there's a transparency problem there. And we definitely need to address the transparency. I will listen to you and I will respond to you.
Mr. Harvey?
Well, we live in a communications world. How many of by text, email, phone calls, Facebook, YouTube, it's hard to get the message out because we don't know how you're going to receive it. We put it out there in all kinds of formats. You can watch it anytime you want. You can participate anytime you want. And we did increase public awareness and public participation in meetings. But what had happened is we had a lot of people who would come in and try to hijack the meeting at the beginning. You serve on the board, you understand this. So when you do that, all we did was say, if you've got a public comment on agenda items, come on in. But it was so rude of us to sit there and allow those people, you, who had stuff waiting for us to deal with, being hijacked for hours until the end. So now we move that to the end. And yes, I'm proud of that. But we gave people 2 opportunities. And not only that, we, as a chairman, when I was chairman and our current chairman, we still stop the meeting. We take many public comments. You can watch it online. So my point is, very simply this. We got to find the avenue that you want your information given to you. Whatever that means and however you want it, we're there for you. Some people want it in the paper, some people want it email, some people want to watch it. Whatever we can do to make that happen, that's what we need to be about doing, and that's what we're currently doing. And I'm excited about the new format. But again, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make them drink. And if they don't want to participate, they're not going to participate. And believe me, the last forum we were in, a gentleman came up to me and says, I was a city councilman up in Green Cove Springs. We had night meetings, we had the same 6 people that we had, just different. The people that I'm hearing from now who want the night meetings are saying, the people that are attending our meeting are going, if you move it tonight, we're not gonna be able to be there, period, it won't happen. We can't drive all the way home and be a part of that. So, do we go out in the public? Yes. Do I go out in the public? Yes, we all do, and we should. But right now, transparency, what we're doing is working, and we just gotta find the avenue for what you wanna receive that information as, and not how we. Because sometimes we believe our own press releases like we're doing a good job. But if you're not receiving that information, it's not very good. And my pastor says, I know what I said, I just don't know what you heard.
All right, next question, Mr. Harvey, beginning with you. Addition and continuing addition of high-paying, non-governmental jobs and housing is vital to this county. In your capacity as an elected official, what would you personally do to help improve this effort?
You know, we just recently dedicated the Mill Road, if you will, again. And I remember Commissioner Pickens saying back in the 40s when the Economic Development Council gave Hudson Pulp and Paper $30,000 for land and 255 jobs came to Putnam County. That was a big deal. That's still a big deal today. And we need to be going out there promoting Putnam County like I do to everybody, asking them to look at Putnam County. What I see is our port. I think I know that's gonna be a fabulous addition to Putnam County in the way that we can do business here in the county. And we can encourage that port and really strive for a better situation there. Housing, we can change some of the zoning regulations, we can reduce some of the density, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I like our rural nature, and I don't wanna see that go away. Government has no responsibility, in my opinion, in housing. We have a very little part to play, and we could use our SHIP funds for down payment assistance, but I'm not gonna go out there and spend taxpayer money to build housing. That is a capitalist society. We should let the capitalists do that, and it should not be fall back on government to take your tax dollar and build somebody else's house. Because they didn't do that for me. They didn't do that for you. We worked our way. We bought a little place and we worked and we worked and we sold that little place and we bought a bigger place. That's what happens in our world today. And we need to get back to that. So when we have those good paying jobs that we promote Putnam County out throughout the land and we have these companies come to us, then they have housing to support that. And some of our employers are actually right now thinking about building homes for their employees when they bring their businesses to Putnam County. And I'll say that. Thank you.
Do you mind repeating the question? It was so long-winded, I lost the question.
We'll be happy to do that for you. Addition and continuing addition of high-paying, non-governmental jobs and housing is vital to this county. In your capacity as an elected official, what would you personally do to help improve this effort?
First of all, I think we need to get our infrastructure together. We really have nothing to offer these people if they come in here. If you were trying to build a restaurant right now, with the septic system that you have to put in will cost you $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 just for that. We need to get the infrastructure first to have something to say, here, this is what we have to offer you if you bring your business in here. And along with that, we need to give, I'm all for giving tax breaks for certain companies, just as it was alluded to a few minutes ago. When you bring tax breaks into a company and they hire enough people, it all comes back on the other side. You get people in here, you're gonna build, they will get the homes built. Our problem is we have no infrastructure, we don't have anything to offer them, entice them, I should say, to bring in here. So we need to get our infrastructure done. We have a water treatment plant that is about 1/3 of the capacity, use, the county pays for that. I don't think the county should have to pay for it. We have a sewage system that's, half the people don't hook up to. So, you know, infrastructure is first. We have to have something to entice you to come here. I can't call you in and say, hey, come down here and build this big factory, and you're gonna have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars just to open your factory. We need to have something here. We need to do our infrastructure, and we need to entice them. We need to have vocational training for once they get here. We don't even have the workforce. I'm 70 years old. I have never in my life seen so many help wanted signs out there. We have no workforce anymore. Again, it was alluded to with the mayor. We taught everybody to go to college and get a degree. We gave them degrees in what they can't really get a job in. We got to go back to vocation. We need something, again, we got to entice these people. We need to go after them. We have a Chamber of Commerce. Hopefully we can work with them, and they'll work diligently to look for stuff to come in. Bass Pro Shops. I heard about them just before they built the place over in Gainesville. At that time, we still had the riverfront open here. If we would have went to Bass Pro and said, listen, we have this spot right here, come down and build one of your beautiful stores, we would have brought Palatka, everybody would have come down here, and you know, as they walk around, the other stuff would have went off. We have to entice them. We have nothing to entice people with. So infrastructure, I think, is first.
Very good. All right, next question, and it's a long one, and Mr. Williams, you get this one. Question carefully. At times, the county board may be faced with a controversial decision. A prime example of this decision is on whether to move the Confederate monument that stands at the entrance to the county. And a similarly controversial issue comes before you. What are the steps you would take to make sure your vote reflected what is best for this community?
And I think that comes with listening to the people. I would get out there before the vote and talk to the people, both sides, get their stories, find out what they really would like to do. And, you know, obviously this side's gonna wanna do this, side's gonna wanna do this. I think what's best for the county is you have to respond to the people. You've gotta listen and respond. Unfortunately, as I said earlier, that's the problem that the people are having out there. They just feel like they're not listening to it and they're not responding to it. Again, I also stated earlier, as a law enforcement officer, I've made split-second decisions that altered a lot of people's lives at times. I don't regret any of them. I've researched them the way they need to be done. I use my common sense, I use my values, and I'll make the decision that I think is best for everybody after I've spoken with it, you know, after I've listened with everyone. Thank you.
Every meeting we go to, we have some kind of controversy that happens. And that's just the nature of this business. What you do, you try to get out there, you try to listen to the community, you stop people on the side of the road like I did. These two ladies walking down by the hospital one day, ask their opinion. You go to the restaurants, you get out and you ask them, what is what's facing you? And you hear that that's not the issue. The issue is I need jobs, or I need food, or I need this. Those are the issues that are facing our people. So controversial decisions happen all the time. And believe me, out listening, forming committees in some cases where the citizens can actually come and to a member of their peers and talk to them. We did I think we did as good a job we could on a no-win situation. But I don't shy away from it. I look forward to those controversial things all the time, because with controversy, we have an opportunity to win. We can take people on a journey to success, and I really believe that, because it's not just my way. Or I'm gonna stop it right now before the conversation starts, because we do want to hear from 73,321 employers of mine who pay about 68 cents of my salary per year. And I want to hear what they have to say. And they can contact me by phone, and believe me, they do. They text me, they email me, they Facebook me. I try not to encourage that, because Facebook becomes public record. You don't want that to happen. But I truly will say, getting out there and listening to the people like we do are very important for any controversial decision that might come up. All right, next question, Mr. Harvey, starting with you. What is your level of confidence in the county administration, and why do you feel this way? Try not to be so long-winded on this one, because I can be. We have really changed the culture down there at the county level. Hired the right people in the right seats of the bus. And not saying anything about people in the past, but it was time for a change. And we made that change, and we hired forward-thinking people, younger people who came on board. We rearranged the whole structure level down there. And I tell you what, as much as you might sit in the audience, and some of you deal with us, and some of you deal with us in the back door, if you will, back there, there's not a single issue from any single person. I don't care what your name is in this county, or what your issue is, that we don't talk about it in that room, and we don't try to find a solution. Now, it's not the commissioners talking amongst themselves. It's me bringing up, hey, did you hear about this issue? Yeah, we're working on that. Or did you know about that issue? We don't know about your problem unless you tell us what's going on. But I have full confidence and full faith that we have the right people on the right bus in the right seats at the right time of this county's career. Thank you. Mr. Williams?
Well, I don't really know a lot about the staff, unfortunately, because I'm not in there. It's pretty unfortunate, I guess, that within the last year and a half, 113 people have lost a job at Putnam County or resigned from Putnam County. So I don't know if it starts at the top or the bottom. I'm not that familiar. I know all of the staff, or I know a couple of the staff. Personally, I don't really associate with them. But when you're losing 113 people, something's not right. If it's money, that's one thing. If it's management, that's something else. So that's a tough answer for me to give you right now until I sit in the seat. And then I'll find out if there are problems or if they need to be changed. But I don't know. But 113 people is a lot of people.
Final question, starting with Mr. Williams. As an elected official on a 5-member board, you are a single vote. How do you plan to persuade and help draw a consensus?
If the issue is correct and it's good for the people, like I said, I've been in business and I've dealt with people over 45, 50 years of my entire life. I have a fantastic ability to deal with people. If I didn't, I wouldn't have successful business. It's going to depend on what it is and what you need to come to. And he's right. It's one to 5. But again, I'll go back to that survey that was published out. When you have 75% of the people that think something's not right in the county and it's not going to get any better, and you go back and look at the votes and there's 3-2, 3-2, 3-2, 3-2, something's got to change. The county needs someone to go in there and really look at the issues and follow through on them. I didn't do the survey, I just read the survey. So, perception is reality with a lot of people. And right now, they feel left out. The survey shows that they feel like the county's not going anywhere in the next 5 years. So I think if the issue is right and I've talked to the citizens and I'm responding with them, I don't think I have a bit of problem convincing the other ones that we need to do this for you, the people of the county.
Thank you, Harvey. Well, thank you. You have to know where people are at. Not everybody's at the same spot you're at in life at that moment when the decision's made. I often say if you can't count to 3 in my business, you have no business being there. So you need to know how to count to 3. But you also need to hear 2 more amens. And if you don't have 2 more amens, you kind of keep your powder dry until that time happens. I'll give you a case in point. Wanted to get a school crossing over on County Road 315 from the middle school to the library. Simple fix, right? But it was $38,000 for an official school crossing with all the lights and the bells and whistles that need to take place. And I couldn't get the other commissioners to go along. It wasn't their fault. It was a lot of money for that one little area.
So what we did is one day I was thinking, Lord, how can I get this thing done? And we called it a pedestrian crossing. Pedestrian crossing costs $3,500. And you know what? The teachers come out, they stop the traffic, the kids walk across the school. Okay? That's how you get things done. You don't fall on the sword and go my way or the highway. That's ridiculous in this business. And if you're gonna do that, you ought not to be in this business. Because I've seen a lot of good ideas come in the last few years and people fall on the sword. And it's a sad state of affairs when you can't have a conversation about how can we make this workable. Just want to fall on the sword, it's my way or the highway, I'm the smartest one in the room. I'm sorry, but that doesn't work for me. Because I learn every day from every one of you out there. I learn something about this world, and I learn something, and I learn how to get along. So I listen, I find 2 more amens, and then we can move this project further down the line. And sometimes you just gotta wait, because it's not the right time. And if you learn that quickly, you'll be a better county commissioner. Thank you.
All right, thank you both. That concludes our formal questions. It's time for summary. So we're going to give each candidate 4 minutes, summarize any comments they wish to make, go over anything else they'd like us to hear, any self-promotion you'd like to make with regard to your candidacy. Start with Mr. Williams at the final comments.
Well, as stated earlier, I will work my tail off for you. I've been good at everything I've ever tried to accomplish in my life. I don't have a lot to say, you know, we've said a lot already. The one thing that we did leave out here that we neglected, we do need to do something in this county for our youth. We have nothing that wants to keep them here for a job. If we have no, other than the police athletic league and a few other small things, we need something here in this county for our youth. So that's one thing I would like to work on when I get in, when I take the office for you. I'll work hard for you. I'll be honest with you. I won't flip-flop on you. I won't make a decision and tell you one thing here and then get to the commission and make another decision. If I tell you something, I'll own it. This job is not worth my integrity, and I won't give it up for anybody. I'm really not gonna, I don't need the 4 minutes. I'm asking for your vote on or before August 23rd. Again, I'll work hard for you. I'll be honest with you. I'll listen to you. I'll respond to you. About it, I guess. Thank you.
I'm Larry Harvey. I am the county commissioner. I was appointed in March of 2014 ago. Governor Scott took a chance on me, and a lot of people did. I was interviewed by 30 people throughout Florida, and the notebook was built on me, and I had to answer some really tough questions. I went right to work. I never regret that, and I'm still working today. So if you want lower taxes, and you want your natural resources and your history protected, and you want law enforcement funded and voted on to be funded, then you got the right guy right here, because I'm not going to back away from that. I fully believe that Putnam County's brighter days are ahead of us. A lot of us have been here a long, long time, and I've seen the paper mill when it had 2,000 jobs out there, and working wasn't a problem in Putnam County, but it is today. My dad made me be a welding person at the high school. I came out with a certified welding degree, okay? Did I do that? No. I went in the insurance business because I needed to make money, and I had a wife and 2 daughters, and then I had another daughter coming a year later. We made something of ourselves, and Putnam County has allowed me to do that in this county, and I respect that. That's why I can go to Washington, D.C., I can go to Tallahassee, and I can advocate for this county. And recently, let me assure you that we needed $2 million for a bridge on County Road 310. I went to the Speaker of the House, I went to the Senate President, I said, this is our shortfall. We had moved money over from Holloway Road over to Barton Bridge to rebuild that bridge and move money over to County Road 310. We were still $2 million short. Where does that money come from? Out of your pocket, out of our tax base, out of your constitutionals not being funded 100%. That's where that money comes from. That wasn't an option. So we got the money, Representative Payne helped us very stringently get that money, and it was kind of funny. The Senate President, the Speaker of the House said, how does Bobby Payne feel about this? He's on board. That's the relationships you build in this county to make things happen for this county. And I'm gonna be there, I'm always gonna be there. I'm passionate, I'm excited, I've got a lot of life left in me, and I can't wait to get back to work. So I'm still working today, so please vote for me. Absentees went out the other day, vote for me there. Vote early, not often, just early. And also vote for me on August 23rd or before. Thank you, and God bless you.
I'd like to thank both of our candidates, Mr. Williams and Mr. Harvey, for your participation, your enthusiasm, and your passion for what you're doing, and we wish you both luck in the upcoming campaign. We'd also like to thank again the Palatka Daily News, their editor, Casimira Harrison, and the new publisher, Jennifer Moats, for being with us and organizing this tonight. And our thanks also to St. John's River State College, President Joe Pickens, and also Adam Brazil, who has been dutifully keeping track of our AB and IT and making sure that it all works. I've actually been getting a little feedback on the cell phone that it's actually going out there, Adam. You'll be happy to hear. Do you know how many people were actually watching?
We have 78 views, and right now we have 13 people watching.
Very good, all right. With that, we're going to conclude tonight's event and wish you all a safe trip home.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.